Good evening, everybody. This is Robin with another edition of Horror Pop After Midnight. And my guest tonight she's an MMA fighter, a bare knuckle fighter, an actress, the Black Widow, Jessica Borga. How's it going, Jessica?
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
Hey, it's my pleasure. Thank you for coming on the show to have fun with me tonight.
Absolutely. Fun's my style.
All right, we're gonna get off the easy question first. You've been in fighting in the MMA for quite some time. What keeps on motivating you to still stick with that sport today?
Honestly, motivation it's not consistent. Discipline is consistent. But when you have a passion for the sport, it makes it a lot easier. So that just kind of rolls into play. So the discipline really is the main factor in all of it.
Yes. Also, have you ever thought about trying pro wrestling?
I've been on WWE, but that is just not my style. I really like the challenge that MMA brings. I like, to challenge myself and push myself and see what, I'm capable of.
So how much fun did you have when you were over in the WWE?
It was fun. It's just, I'm not arm candy. I'd rather be one of the ones throwing people around. I was on Bobby Lashley. I was part of his team. So, I'm not really the arm candy type. I would rather be the one throwing around the other girls.
Hey, I don't blame you there. Now, let's get to some of the fun questions now. Okay. When David J. Paul first approached you about being in a paranormal independent horror film, what was your thoughts at that time?
Oh, it's exciting. I have always wanted to be in a paranormal or scary. I think that would be more my style. So I was very excited when he told me about it, and the idea of the movie is just incredible. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, the film you're going to be in is called Dimonis, and it's filmed in a legit haunted castle in Vermont, the Wilson Castle. So how stoked are you to be filmed in a legit haunted location?
Honestly, that just made it even better. When he told me that, I was like, that's going to be so fun. I mean, people are like, oh, you okay with being in, a haunted castle? I mean, it all depends on how you feel about those situations, really. So I'm good with it. I love being scared.
So you believe in the paranormal?
I don't necessarily. That's why it doesn't really scare me to be in those kind of situations. I would have to be involved or see something to believe it. So if it hasn't happened to me yet, it's hard for me to be, put my faith in it. So
Hey, that works for me. So what's your mindset going to be from being an MMA fighter to an actress in a film?
I've been in short films before. I've done a lot of interviews. I've been on TV. It's kind of part of, kind of part of what I do anyway. So I enjoy being on TV. I really enjoy acting. I wish I would have done more of it as too, but I'm pretty good at it and I enjoy it. So I think it's going to be fantastic. So
how will your fans that follow you in MMA think about you being in a paranormal horror film? Do they think you're going to be one of those kick-ass fighters in the film?
They probably will assume so. I mean, why not? If you have the background in fighting, why not use it to your ability in films? I mean, you see other ones like Ronda Rousey. She did the same thing, so it's always action-packed whenever she's in it. So I'm sure they assume that it's going to happen.
So, do you know what your role is going to be in the film?
Yes, I am going to be Carly Watts. So I'm excited about that. I don't know how much I can say about it. I don't want to give it too much away, but it's going to be good. I definitely don't go out without a fight.
Hey, I can't wait. I've been looking forward to this because I'm a big fan of these paranormal films too. They're just fun to watch. And the cool thing about this, it's going to be in a legit, haunted location. And also in the film, you're going to be acting with some legit paranormal investigators as well. So what do you think about that?
Oh, it's gonna be awesome. I haven't ever done that, so that's gonna be completely new to me. I would love to hear their take on things, and and learn more. I'm always up for learning new things, especially if I'm not, if I'm a little ignorant to the fact of things. So I'm always up for learning things.
So what's your thoughts on David J. Paul?
Oh, he's an amazing person. We've been friends on Facebook for a while. We've talked. He has an amazing personality. He's such a good person. So that makes me even more willing to, go into business with someone like that.
So since you're going to be in this film, are you going to think about pursuing other roles in all types of genre of film?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I definitely plan on doing more.
Hey, I'm looking forward to seeing what you do next. It's going to be great. Now, let's talk about the origin story. How'd you become the Black Widow? How'd you get that name in the world of MMA fighting?
It's kind of funny. I actually hated the name. We're not technically allowed to pick our nicknames. Our coaches are supposed to pick our nicknames. And he came up with the Black Widow, and I thought it was just because I had the tattoo of a Black Widow on the back of my neck. And I didn't ask him for, it was like a year. And I didn't think to ask him because I just assumed that that's fine. And finally, one day I was like, why'd you name me that? Because I didn't like it at first. I didn't, everyone always says, are you an Avengers fan? And I'm like, no. But I mean, it's not that I don't have anything against the Avengers, but no, I'm not like, oh my God, that's why I named myself that. So that's the main question I get asked. But finally I asked him, and I said, why'd you name that? And he's like, well, it's because you came in and you're this blonde chick and you just completely threw around the guys. You annihilated the guys. So I said, well, now I actually kind of like the name better because I like the background of why he named me it. It was kind of funny.
Hey, that's a good question. And since you were also training, you train out of Lakeland, Florida, so most of the guys you mostly train with are all men. There's not that many women you train with.
Yeah, that's pretty much anywhere. It's getting bigger, but women's MMA is just not as much as men, so a lot of the gyms that you see and you go to, they don't have a lot of females. So most of the time we have to actually plan with other females and cross-train that way, travel to do so. But yeah, it's mostly just men, so we're used to just dealing with, big men.
Yeah, since pro wrestling is a big hotbed in Florida, is MMA fighting in Florida just as big as pro wrestling in Florida?
Yeah, Florida does. It's really big. There's a lot of gyms. There's a lot more promotions starting. There's a lot of amateur and pro. There's a lot of jiu-jitsu as well. So it's a big place for it, definitely.
So,
big names.
Yeah, so when you were growing up, you were a big horror fan growing up, and now you're really not a big horror fan anymore, but you love your comedy. What made you lose your passion for loving horror films?
Honestly, probably because I had a lot of just enough trauma and stuff in my past, in my childhood. And growing up, I've kind of just would rather laugh than be, I don't know. I don't know why. I just kind of got out of a scary movie. Yeah, I just don't watch them as nearly as much as I used to. They used to, I feel like, be a little better, too. Now I kind of feel like they kind of go in the same, almost in the same path. It's, almost like you expect what is going to happen. And I don't know. I guess, if it's a good one, I'll watch it. But I like being funny and laughing more.
So what was that, when you were younger, what was that first horror film that really attracted you to these type of films?
Which is kind of funny. The paranormal ones always bothered me a little bit more than the stupid, I don't want to say stupid, sorry. The, normal Halloween and, the same thing kind of thing. Paranormal was always a bigger thing for me. So I want to say the name is mistaking me right now. No, oh my gosh. They're exercising The Exorcist. That one is probably when I was younger. I watched it when I was pretty young, and that one stuck with me. That one bothered me a little bit more.
Yeah, that may be the film The Exorcist scared the living tar out of me when I was a little kid, too. I couldn't sleep for a week. Linda Blair scared the living tar out of me.
Yeah, it's funny because I think it bothered me more. My family was really religious, growing up. So that was something that like they kind of put into that. Oh, it can happen. So it's like watching it, you're kind of like, man, that's creepy. That's scary.
So have you seen the sequel to the new Exorcist film that came out?
I believe I have. I mean, it's been a long time, but I'm pretty sure I've seen all of those.
Really? Even the brand new one about the two girls who are possessed?
I'm not sure about the new one. I didn't even know there was a new one, to be honest with you. But I'll definitely have to check that out.
Yeah, and since you're a big fan of paranormal films as well, have you ever seen Paranormal Activity?
Yes. I'm pretty sure I have seen all of them. But see, that's the kind of stuff that will actually bother me a little bit, and it's actually scary to watch. The other things is kind of, I don't know. I feel like they're kind of becoming the same. I like the paranormal.
So what are some of your, since you're in the paranormal, what's some of your favorite paranormal shows?
Oh, I don't know shows. I don't get to watch TV, honestly, a lot at all. I mean, besides Paranormal Activity, which I think are the best ones that I've seen, I don't know if I've seen all of them. You know, I'm not, like I said, anything of a fan thing, like I'm not going to remember per se like a favorite. I don't even have a favorite song. I like so much of different things, and it just depends on my mood that it's, I'm not like a super fan of really anything except for probably my sport.
So, yeah, let's talk about your sport. What was the most memorable moment in your MMA career that you can go back and think about today that was your biggest accomplishment?
Oh, man. My biggest one and my most memorable will probably be my first fight with Bellator. That was, I got with Bellator really fast in my pro career, actually in my career at all. And I turned down UFC for Bellator because they offered more money and I could keep my sponsors. So my first fight was, with a veteran in the sport, and I submitted her in the first round. So that was a huge, step mark in my career and stepping stone to, great things. So I was very happy with that. I'll always remember that.
Yeah, I love Bellator fighting a lot too. So since you turned UFC down, did you ever were in talks with Dana White?
I was. I actually fought in front of him at Titan. That was the fight before Bellator, if I'm not mistaken, which might have got me the offer. I don't know, because I beat one of the American Top Team girls in the first round as well. And that was right after being cleared from my jaw surgery. I had my jaw broke, and I fought 3 rounds with a broke jaw and 2 fractures in my nose the fight before. And so I had just been cleared, and I took a fight with a champion boxer in front of him.
Wow. So were you a little intimidated a little bit, or were you there to take care of business?
Oh, no. I don't get intimidated by anybody. There's not a soul on this planet that scares me. My coaches have to actually protect me from me, because I would fight, the most dangerous people and not be scared to do so. So I don't know. It's a thing with me.
You also bare knuckle fight too. What got you into that brutality sport?
Honestly, I started with bare knuckle because I was a stupid kid. I was young, stupid adults, and I went and fought at bars all the time. I went and fought, I got kicked out of every school I ever went to for fighting. Not proud of it, but I had a bad upbringing, so I didn't react in the best way. But I started with bare knuckle, and I would knock guys out in the bar. And that was before I had any, actual training. So that was just my aggression and strength, that's not really technique at all. But that's where I started, so that kind of took me back to my roots. It's a lot of fun for me. I love it.
I've been doing some research on you, trying to find some great stuff. You're a big lover of and have the passion for animals. What got you to love animals so much?
Yeah, I actually have worked with them since I was 14. I've worked with animals and was in the veterinary field for over 15 years. Ever since I was a kid, I studied animals. I absolutely love everything about animals. And I loved helping them. And I still do. I mean, we have like a zoo at my house. So we have 3 dogs, 2 cats, 3 bearded dragons, a snake. We did have a rabbit. So I surround myself with animals still. But I don't know. It's just I've always loved them. And that was always one of my passions. It was that or to be a cop. And my dad was a cop. But I saw what it did to him. And I kind of went the other way with something a little bit happier.
And then you have a supportive family that supports you in, your MMA fighting career and also your acting career. So how supportive is your husband?
He is, I couldn't ask for someone better. He is the most incredible man. He supports me in absolutely everything that I do, and like full support too. He does everything in his power to make it easier. He helps with the kids. We have 3 kids. I have 1, he has 2. He is just absolutely incredible in every way. I couldn't ask for a better husband.
So is he a horror fan?
I wouldn't say fan either. I mean, he watches scary movies, but I mean, his favorite is the funny too, I think. So we more are on the same page watching a lot of funny ones, but we do like the occasional, scary movie.
So what's his thoughts about you being in a paranormal horror film?
Oh, he's excited for it. He's really happy about it. He thinks it's going to be a great show as well. They're told about it.
So he's probably going, hey, look, can I come too? I want to see if I can find some paranormal activity at the haunted Wilson Castle.
He would love to come. He honestly, we love being together. We love sharing, the trips and stuff like that together. He loves being by my side. I love having him by my side, but he also knows that, sometimes he has to stay back and kind of hold down the fort. But he doesn't complain about it, so it's fantastic.
Hey, you got lucky. You got yourself a good man there supporting you, man.
The best man I could ask for, I'm telling you.
Yeah, he's like the male version of Adrian while you're the Rocky.
I'm more of like a high energy, loud, like I'm just that kind of person. And he's calm and collected and just like, it's like yin and yang, 100%.
So you fought, I've looked at about your career in MMA. You fought a lot of great fighters out there. I've seen some of your matches. Some of them are pretty brutal. Some of them were solid fights, of course. Who's that one person in the world of MMA you haven't got your hands on yet, but you would love to get in the ring with?
Oh, man. I mean, there's so many. Whoever's at the top, I want to fight. So it's like, I don't ever oh man, that's one person I just definitely want to fight. Whoever was at the top of my weight class. When I was in Bellator, the one holding the belt was, Cyborg. So that was my goal, was Cyborg. Kat Zingano, we were actually kind of not scheduled, but we were reached out in hopes to fight her. Like, they reached out and said, hey, would you like to fight Kat Zingano twice to me? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. But then it never happened. So that kind of sucked. I would love to fight her. Honestly, anyone. I just want to fight. I want to get more experience. I've always tried to challenge myself with people that are very good fighters. If you look at my record like you have, I have not fought any slumps. Like, a lot of people fought their record with wins from people that are like debuters or, only had losses and stuff. And I don't want that. I want to fight people that are actually, good. That's where the challenge comes in.
Hey, those are the best kind, because you can get the experience, you can learn from it, you can get the respect, and it makes you bigger out in that world of MMA fighting. People be eyeing at you going, this Black Widow fighter, man, she means business, man. Maybe we'll give her a chance to fight some more title bouts.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely fights that I wish that I could go back and, have a better... I used to cut to 125. Right now I'm a 145 fighter. So I prefer being at 145. I don't have to kill myself to make weight. And that I took a lot of fights while I was sick and while I was, not my best because of weight cuts and injuries and stuff like that. And I wish I could go back and do it, the right way in my weight class from the start. But, it taught me a lot about myself fighting when I was injured and sick, how much I was able to do, not at my best. So
how supportive of your fans that follow you?
Oh, I love my fans. My fans, the true fans, have stayed with me from the get-go. And, I really, truly appreciate that kind of support, because for fighters, it means everything to us. The fans are what, shows the promotions on how many people actually love you and follow you. And that's what they want to see. So my fans, I always try to show appreciation to my fans.
Also, since you're going to be in this paranormal film we just talked about, so what's your thoughts going to be when you start having some horror fans from the horror community, supporting you, going, hey, I like this girl. Maybe I should check her out of her MMA fighting career.
Oh, I would love that. I mean, that honestly, the more the better. That it means a lot for anyone, especially even if it's not, not their forte, for them to switch over, to something that I do as well, just because they were a fan of the movie. That says a lot. That means a lot.
Would you ever fight Ronda Rousey?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I told you, there's no one that I wouldn't fight.
So, are you intimidated by her?
Nope. I'm telling you, there's not a time that I've ever been intimidated by that person. Even after fighting them, like the girl that I fought in her hometown, the one that actually broke my jaw. We were the main event in her hometown in Tennessee, and it's funny because when we saw her at weigh-in, we were like, all right, we're gonna ask the commission to get her tested, because she, literally had like a turtle shell for abs. So I was like, they'll have to test me too, and which is fine. When we asked the commission, they completely denied our request, which I didn't even think that was even allowed to happen. So I was surprised about that. But they denied our request, and I was like, oh, whatever. I'll still fight her. If she wins, she wins. Regardless, it doesn't matter. So I go in there, and, we had a hell of a war. It was, it went all the way to the end of the third round. And my jaw was broken. My nose was fractured in 2 spots in the first round, and I hid my jaw being broke from my corner for the next 2 rounds. So I never got knocked down. I never got, I put up a fight regardless of whether I'm losing or not. It's going to be a fight, and they're going to know that I'm there. So, no, there's no girl that's ever intimidated me. Not at all. Now, if they're cheating, I'm going to, definitely try to get them to, get that win taken away. But to be scared to go in there with her? No.
Hey, that's awesome. Hey, wouldn't that be cool?
I'm grateful for that, because I've never been intimidated, so it helps.
Wouldn't that be cool if they set you up a fight with another opponent in a haunted location?
That would be awesome. That would be really cool. I bet it would bring a big crowd too, honestly.
Oh, you'll probably get a crowd from all over, because everybody will be seeing a good fight, and you guys will be fighting going, is there going to be any paranormal occurrences during this fight? Am I going to be fighting a demon or what?
If there is, I hope it's the paranormal helping me out.
Yeah, you'll have Casper the Friendly Ghost at your side. I'm just kidding.
Make her slip.
And since you love comedy so much, you're a comedian yourself. I've seen some of your TikTok videos. Those are pretty crazy.
Yeah, I love to make people laugh. I have that sense of humor, so it does benefit me there. But a lot of people have said that, I have a knack for the TikTok, but I actually enjoy doing it. It doesn't take a lot of time, so I actually enjoy doing it. That's why I do it.
I know. Before I came on the show with you tonight, I was watching a few of your TikToks. I couldn't stop laughing. I was like, "This is cool." She's a badass fighter, but she has that comical side, which is kind of cool.
That's what everyone when they meet me, they're like, "How are you a fighter? You're so nice." I'm like, "Well, it's kind of like Jekyll and Hyde. I'm nice until I'm not." Like that.
Yeah, you're more like the Incredible Hulk, you know. You're nice at the time, and then when someone gets under your nerves and get angry, you turn into full beast mode, except for the green skin.
That's a better one than Jekyll and Hyde. I like that. Yeah.
And then when you get big, you start getting the green skin. You're like, I better calm down.
Breaking out of my
So where can everybody find you on social media? And do you have any upcoming fights this year in 2024?
Well, I wish I did on that. I actually had surgery 9 weeks ago, but I'm doing fantastic with the surgery. It was a major surgery. It's been an issue for pretty much all of last year. I was getting ready for a bare knuckle MMA fight that I was promised in July and September, and that didn't happen. But I was training as if it was, of course. So I actually tore my labrum, which is in my hip, the biggest ligament there. I had a bone spur that I didn't realize, but I knew it was, painful for a long time. I guess that bone spur cut right through that ligament, and I got that repaired, and the bone spur shaved down, and now I'm good to go. I should be better than before, pain-free. So that's going to be great. But I cannot do any fight scheduling until I am cleared. So I should be cleared at the soonest, which is 4 months mark, March. At the latest, it's going to be May, I believe, the 6 months. Yeah. So hopefully I'm more sooner than rather than later. But I'm able to do a lot more than I thought. And everyone can find me mainly just Black Widow Borga. If you go on my Instagram, they have a Linktree app there that has all my social media, so they can find me at any of them.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on. It was a blast.
Thank you for having me. You're fantastic. Make sure you tell everyone about the movie. We are excited about it, and I can't wait.
Yeah, maybe in the near future, you need to make some Black Widow t-shirts. I'd sport one of those.
I actually do have them. Just reach out to me and I'll send you one.
I definitely will. I'll sport that with pride with my horror t-shirts.
All right.
All right, thank you.
I'll become a super fan one day.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for listening to Horror Pop After Midnight.